and Finance. Good morning to our Honorable Vice President, Ma'am Sara Duterte. Good morning, ma'am. And to your team, we'll acknowledge them individually at the proper time. I'd just like to acknowledge initially our committee vice chairs, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, Vice Chair, and Vice Chair Senator Bongo. Good morning, Your Honors. We'd like to acknowledge also Chief of Staff, Attorney Zulaika Lopez, Assistant Chief of Staff, Lemuel Ortonio, Director for Admin and Financial Services, Rosalyn Sanchez, Director for Operations, Norman Baloro, Attorney Reynold Monsayak, Spokesperson, Attorney Emily Rose Torrentira, Legal Affairs Head, Chief Budget Division, Kelvin Jerome Teñido, Imard Eje, Head of Disaster Operations, sir, Julieta Villa del Rey, Chief Accountant, Sara Atienza, OIC, Human Resource Management Division, Caroline Lourdes Mangalili, Chief Planning Division, Nicole Erica Cue, Executive Assistant 4. For the Commission Audit, we have State Auditor De Vera, State Auditor Marvin Palitic. For DBM, we have John Ri Castillo, Chief Budget and Management Specialist, and Joyce Akad, OIC of the Chief Budget Management Specialist. Did I miss anyone, Comsec?
Just the chief accountant.
I'd like to acknowledge our Vice Chair. I just saw her here. Good morning, our Senior Vice Chair, Amy Marcos. Good morning, ma'am.
Miss Julieta Villa del Rey, the chief accountant.
Okay.
That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Comsec. We'll turn it over now if there are no statements from our colleagues initially. No? We'll turn it over now to the Vice President. We know how important... we'd like to acknowledge Senator Risa Ontiveros, also Committee Vice Chair. Good morning, ma'am. So if there are no opening statements, we'll turn it over to the Vice President. Ma'am, good morning po. Thank you for attending this briefing.
Thank you, Honorable Angara. Honorable Juan Miguel Zubiri, Senate President, the Honorable Chairperson and members of the Committee on Finance, other honorable members of the Senate, ladies and gentlemen, assalamualaikum, madayaw, mayong adlaw, kaninyong tanan, magandang araw sa inyo lahat. Allow me to thank you for the budget allocated to the Office of the Vice President for this year, which allowed our office to expand and reach unserved and underserved areas in the country. I likewise thank the Senate for supporting the plans, programs, and advocacies of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. through cooperation. We place the people's welfare at the forefront of our national interests. Before we brief the committee, let me introduce the OVP delegation, which was mentioned earlier by Senator Sani Angara. So I will not repeat the names. The OVP holds a distinct position in our bureaucracy. As the second highest office in the land, the OVP carries out functions that complement the work of other government agencies while advancing the well-being of the Filipino people. With a mission to deliver efficient, accessible, and responsive public services, our work resonates at the core of our nation's welfare and progress. We are here to propose our budget request of 2.385 billion to support our operations, continue our programs, and extend the reach of OVP services throughout the country. We have prepared an audiovisual presentation to provide more details on our plans and programs for fiscal year 2024 and our accomplishments for the past year. May I request the Secretariat to present our AVP? Shukran.
Right after her assumption to office, Vice President Sara Duterte initiated the establishment of satellite offices in strategic areas around the country. The decision was guided by the vision of the Office of the Vice President to reach, serve, and create a lasting impact on the lives of Filipinos. The satellite offices were established for OVP services to become accessible to Filipinos outside the National Capital Region. Starting July 2022, the OVP satellite offices in Bacolod, Cebu, Dagupan, Davao, Surigao, Tacloban, and Zamboanga opened their doors to the public. This year, the satellite offices in Isabela, Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, and Region 5 were also opened. 2 extension offices of the Public Assistance Division of OVP were also opened in Lipa, Batangas, and Tondo, Manila. The 10 satellite offices and 2 extension offices complement the functions of the central office in Robinson Cybergate Plaza in Mandaluyong. 2 of the services, mainly accessed by the public, are the Medical Assistance Program and Burial Assistance Program. Funds used to implement these programs were covered by the total allotment released in 2022 for the OVP, amounting to 973.21 million pesos, of which 898.47 million pesos had been obligated, with a registered 97% disbursement rate. It also covered the establishment and operations of the satellite offices and extension offices. For fiscal year 2023, the OVP has a 2.36 billion peso available budget under the General Appropriations Act. As of June 30, 2023, the OVP has already obligated 44% of the allotment received, or equivalent to 1.06 billion pesos, and with a disbursement rate of 81%, or 864.98 million pesos. For the Medical Assistance Program alone, from January 2023 to July 2023, the OVP has assisted 52,472 beneficiaries, spending 550,781,339.98 pesos. The Burial Assistance Program also assisted 11,606 beneficiaries, spending 56,955,000 pesos. The other OVP initiatives are the following. The Magnegosyo Taday hopes to help grassroots level groups shore up their livelihood projects. A fund amounting to 150,000 pesos will each be given to qualified organizations. They will also undergo technical and financial management training to ensure the success of their projects. 3 organizations with over 100 members have so far qualified to become recipients of the Magnegosyo Taday funds. The OVP is evaluating more than 200 Magnegosyo Taday applicants. In May this year, OVP launched the Pagbabago, A Million Learners and Trees campaign. It is a 3-pronged initiative that underscores the value of education, oral health, and the protection of the environment. From May to July, the OVP distributed 11,108 bags. But even before the campaign was officially launched, Vice President Sara Duterte had already given away 8,640 Pagbabago bags to young learners during her provincial visits. In total, 19,212 bags were distributed to learners as of July 31, 2023. By the end of 2023, the OVP will be able to distribute 180,788 bags to learners nationwide. Meanwhile, through the satellite offices and partners from the government, communities, and private sector, the OVP has so far planted 34,137 trees in various parts of the country since January 2023. The You Can Be VP program offers a unique experience to the selected participants, an opportunity to join the VP on her official foreign trips as part of the delegation and observe the VP's engagements and activities. Here are the other programs and projects of the OVP. The Libreng Sakay program initially started with 1 bus, each deployed in the cities of Bacolod, Cebu, Davao, and 2 buses in Metro Manila. With increasing public demand for additional free transport services in Metro Manila, the OVP deployed 2 more buses for the new Commonwealth Quiapo route in March. This year, with 7 buses, the OVP Libreng Sakay program has served more than 353,700 Filipinos. The The Disaster Operations Center complements the emergency response of LGUs and government agencies expert in disasters. It has so far conducted a total of 78 relief operations all over the country and served 62,308 beneficiary families, with 103,857 relief goods distributed. The OVP's relief for individuals in crisis and emergency bags complement the assistance being given by the Disaster Operations Center. These are given to people in crises. The Kalusugan food trucks are equipped with kitchens designed to prepare hot meals for responders and volunteers during disasters and calamities. These trucks are also used to distribute the buns to the beneficiaries of the Pansarap project. The Pansarap project is a food supplementation project that addresses malnutrition in school children nationwide. It was first implemented in Tamugan Elementary School in Davao City and Nuro Central Elementary School in the town of Upi in Maguindanao. For 120 days, undernourished learners were given Pansarap buns packed with vitamins and other minerals essential to the growth and development of children. 69,635 Pansarap buns were given to 733 malnourished children in Davao's Tamugan Elementary School for 95 days. In Maguindanao's Nuro Central Elementary School, 47,880 Pansarap buns were given to 1,064 malnourished learners for 45 days. Early assessment of the impact of this intervention showed remarkable improvements in the weight of the beneficiaries even before the completion of the 120-day implementation period. Pansarap will also be implemented in 20 other schools nationwide with the highest incidence of malnutrition. Inextricably ingrained in the OVP initiatives are the aspirations for the empowerment of communities, the promotion of education and patriotism, and the advancement of a peaceful, secure, and stable life for Filipinos. Vice President Sara Duterte's provincial consultations with various sectors fundamentally bring to light problems such as insurgency, terrorism, illegal drugs, and other factors that invariably contribute to the worsening condition of poverty, injustice, and security. These local engagements open doors for security assessment, confidence building, and active community participation, eventually setting the ground for strategic formulation of programs and their successful implementation down to the grassroots level. Since January this year, the Vice President has had 245 events and meetings. 40 of these were diplomatic engagements with foreign envoys and dignitaries, where the Vice President promoted goodwill, explored more opportunities for cooperation, and strengthened existing bilateral relations. It also covered her official trips to the Kingdom of Brunei Darussalam and Singapore in June, as the new president of the Southeast Asian Ministers of Education Organization Council. The rest of the engagements were undertaken with various community groups, local government officials, security sector, and school personnel. Meanwhile, the OVP envisions having a permanent office to memorialize the legacy of the OVP and the past vice presidents of the Philippines. Groundworks have started to make this happen. For 2024, the recommended budget for OVP is 2.385 billion pesos, a 1.22% increase compared to the current year appropriation, amounting to 2.356 billion pesos. This proposal, once approved, will enable the OVP to continue the operations of the satellite offices and extension offices. It will also ensure the success of the expanded OVP social services. This is the Office of the Vice President, committed to deliver efficient, accessible, and responsive public services and programs for the good of all Filipinos.
Ma'am, go ahead please if you want to add to your presentation.
Yes, that is all, Your Honor, and we are ready to accept questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Vice President. We'll now turn it over to our colleagues in the order of seniority. Our Senior Vice Chair, Senator Jaime, if she has any questions. We have 10 minutes for the questions per member. And given that we have a DepEd, the chair will be a little stricter than usual with the 10 minutes. Usually it's very...
Start with the OVP or the DepEd, please?
OVP, ma'am.
OVP muna.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, and we welcome to the Senate all our friends from the OVP, most of all Her Honor the Vice President. I just wanted to give you the opportunity to respond to the COA citations. Firstly, the COA has repeatedly cited the lack of internal guidelines, hence the delayed submission of in-kind donations, the non-posting of reports, and the late reporting and lack of supervision in the in-kind donations at OVP satellite offices. Has this been responded to adequately, and has the COA deleted this finding in the latest report?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, Director Sanchez of Administrative and Financial Services will answer the question.
Thank you, Director Sanchez. Yes, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. The OVP has already prepared a draft guidelines for the monitoring of and reporting of in-kind donations, Your Honor, and we expect to release it within this quarter, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you very much. So there is also the other end of that, which is the citation also by COA of the inadequate guidelines for distribution and the supporting documents for welfare goods and other supplies. Have you responded to that also? What are the existing guidelines? What documentation is required, in fact? And given the said lack of internal processes, can you please explain why there was a failure to report? I mean, clearly this is a new office and you are self-inventing along the way. Have you responded to COA?
Yes, Your Honor, we've already responded to the Commission on Audit on that matter. As a matter of fact, we already developed swim lanes for the reporting of distribution of welfare goods to ensure that we are able to comply with the reporting requirements of the Commission on Audit. We've also developed the guidelines for that, Your Honor.
So has the COA agreed, or you're yet to meet on the draft?
We are yet to meet on the draft, Your Honor.
All right, just update us as we go along the budget process, because that remains in the books together with a very, very old issue. And this has been carried over from the Commission on Higher Education, an existing fund transfer of 4 million. Apakatagal na nito, more than 10 years unliquidated. Ano ba ito?
Your Honor, that pertains to fund transfer to the Commission on Higher Education in the previous administration. Several years already, Your Honor.
Yes, this is unliquidated for more than 10 years,
Yes, Your Honor.
casting doubt on whether the project was actually implemented at all.
Yes, Your Honor. We continue to send follow-up letters to the Commission on Higher Education as to the status of the fund transfer, Your Honor. And we are continuously coordinating with the CHED on this matter.
Yes, may we have a copy of the trail of communication to the CHED so that we can inquire with CHED as well if there's any update on this matter. Finally, of course, what occurred in the news, I know that the Vice President has responded to this, but is there any further explanation on the controversial 400 security detail to the OVP?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your Honor, the question will be answered by Assistant Secretary Antonio.
Yes, Asek Ortonio, please.
I'm sorry. May we request that the question be repeated?
Oh, yes. So sorry. I know that the Vice President has responded regarding this matter in past fora, but I'd just like to put it on record. The explanation regarding the controversial 400 plus security detail to the OVP.
Good morning, Your Honor. So yes, we do confirm that there is an existing 433 VPSPG personnel as of December 2022. And as mentioned, this has been created way back in June 2022 and took effect on June 30, 2022 to provide security services for the Office of the Vice President. And the creation of the VPSPG is really for the protection of the future, current and future vice presidents.
Yes, I think there were comments about the inordinate number of security already established. Is there an explanation for such a large number, as has been criticized in both the media as well as Congress?
As to the number of VPSPG personnel, the determination on the number and deployment of VPSPG personnel is largely dependent on the assessment of the AFP and the PNP.
Okay, so that's the reply to that. It's actually the AFP that has recommended that, being that the vice president is clearly in all these target lists and is always under threat. Thank you very much. That will be all, Mr. Chairman. I have no further questions. I think
Thank
they've been
you.
adequately responded to.
Thank you very much, Senior Vice Chair. And I suspect, kasi ako, my security, let's say we have 6 or 4, hindi naman sila sabay-sabay, di ba? Kasi may nagpapahinga, may shifting yan, di ba? Hindi naman kailangan alert yun, di ba? There's a day shift, there's a night shift. Tapos kung pumupunta si VP sa isang lugar out of town, mauuna yun, di ba? May advance party yun. So I just want to put that on the record because the impression created in the public might be na sabay-sabay nagjo-duty lahat yan. Hindi. Which is not the case for many of us in public.